Welcome, everyone. I'll give TikTok a second to hear from everyone and just let everyone know that we're going live, inshallah. Welcome to another episode of the Collectively Married live, right? We're going to answer some questions, do some reflections, get some lessons, and inshallah be better people by the end of this. So I'm just pulling up questions here. If any of you are watching and wonder how do you ask a question, you can always ask through the website in the chat box, inshallah, and I'll answer the questions as they come. There's a lot of questions that come in, so please be patient, and inshallah, I will respond to your question in due time. There's something I want to talk to you guys about, but first, a quick poll. You can engage with this poll. Let me know what your relationship status is. Are you single? Are you married? Are you in a relationship? Are you married and looking for a second, third, or fourth wife? What is the status? And then we'll dive right into our topics. Thank you, Mitchell, for the roses. You know, today we were having this conversation earlier about if your children make friends with a bad child. It was like a video. Do you move your entire family? Excuse me. The gentleman that was speaking was saying that if his child became friends with a bad child, quote unquote bad child, meaning a child that will get his own child into drugs or partying or girls or whatever, anything that could be negative, that he would move his family. So we started having this conversation about, you know, some people move for jobs. Some people move because of the weather. Some people move to be closer to family. But how many people move to give their kids a better opportunity? And that it's something forgotten that a lot of people should keep in the front of their mind. So if you are married, maybe you don't have kids yet, maybe you're not married. But if you do have kids, you should always be present and aware of who their friends are, what their environment is. And not just for your kids, but for yourself, okay? If you're single, sometimes the friends you keep are the ones keeping you single. Now, there's different scenarios, and I'll explain for the men and for the women what type of friends I'm talking about. But a lot of people aren't aware that the people around them, thank you for the subscription, the people around you influence you a great deal. And the people around you, just because someone likes to hang around you, doesn't mean they want the best for you. They themselves could be benefiting from you. Or they could be secretly jealous, or, you know, we never really know people's hearts. That's why the Prophet ﷺ used to say, you know, when you do something, do it bil-kitman. Bil-kitman means almost like secretly. Like keep it to yourself, keep it in your chest. Just to avoid, on the off chance that someone doesn't have good energy towards you, you don't need to attract that energy. But let's talk about it. Are your friends keeping you single? Are they? I'll talk about ladies first, and then I'll talk about men. Ladies, when you go out with your girlfriends and people see you and they're interested in approaching you, one of the biggest deterrents for a lot of men is approaching a woman in a group. Not that they aren't confident enough to approach, but usually when they approach a group, there's always one friend that's really rude, shuts down the guy, even if he's not interested in her. He might be interested in her friend.
He's never interested in her.
He's never interested in her. He'll go towards her friend, and this could be you. You could be that friend in that group where anytime a guy approaches you, you have friends that will shut him down.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you.
Like, and you're sitting there thinking, oh, she's my friend, she's protecting me. Protecting you from what? A chance to talk to someone? A chance to get to know someone? That's not protection. That's like a jealous and possessive energy that a lot of girlfriends have for each other. So in this case, I'm not telling you to cut off your friend. I'm going to tell you to set some ground rules. Because a lot of ladies will be like, oh, let's go out, with the idea in the back of her mind that hopefully she'll meet someone that she'll eventually date or fall in love with and marry and all that. If your friend is the one that shuts down every single guy that walks your way, number one, your friend has no respect for you. Number two, it makes you almost never, ever, it puts you in this position where you never, ever get the opportunity to learn how to decline someone. Okay? And this is important because not every single person you meet will be the right person for you. But how do you learn how to shut someone down in a nice way? You know? So be aware of those type of friends. Just because sometimes it's like jealousy, it's possessiveness. Sometimes, and I've seen it, if the guy approaches them, they won't shut him down. They'll be happy that a guy came to talk to them. You know, they'll be like, oh yeah, like, you know, I'm going to go with him, and they'll leave you. But every time a guy tries to come to you, they're like deathly afraid that you're going to spend time with a guy. And you guys can set like a schedule. Like if you're just going out to hang out with your girls, that's different. But if you're going out to try to meet people, be aware of who's around you and who's a good wing woman and who's just shutting everyone down. Right? Okay, we got a bunch of single people, a bunch of married people. I love it. Married and looking, and that doesn't mean cheating, that just means looking for wife 2, 3, or 4. For the men, a lot of guys, unfortunately, when they're around attractive women, they treat their guy friends negatively. Like they'll make a joke and talk down on you disrespectfully because there's a lady in their presence. And I don't know why guys do that. It's like some type of insecurity where they gotta shut down. And it's a very similar energy to the girl that shuts down the guy who approaches. Because when you're hanging out with your friends and it's just you and there's no ladies, they're very chill. But a second a lady comes around, he'll try to like make jokes at your expense. And that sets the tone that you are someone that can be disrespected. So right off the bat, she'll have that same energy. Even though she'll come in playful, it's not a good tone to set for someone that you might be romantically attracted to, right? Because respect is important for marriage. And if there's no basis for respect, it's not going to be helpful. So again, what you would do in this case, you don't have to completely stop hanging out with these friends. What you want to do is set some ground rules. Just be like, hey, I don't like the way you talk to me. And you know, some guys will do it right in front of a lady, which and then that escalates to more aggression and problems. But you could also just say it before or after the incident and just be like, don't talk to me like that. Or, you know, you don't talk to me like that on the normal. Why do you do it when women come around? So being comfortable enough to communicate to your friends where the boundaries are is important. It doesn't have to be one way or another. People are going to make mistakes, right? It doesn't mean we have to ghost them and cut them off and be like, oh, they were toxic or whatever. People also have the capacity to learn, but they'll never learn if we don't show them what we want and what we expect. And so if you learn how to have a healthy communication with your friends, you're going to already set the groundwork to have a healthy communication with a romantic partner, your parents, your colleagues, your boss, whoever. But understand and be aware of the dynamics of your friend groups and how they are affecting whether or not you're single, right? Because sometimes friends will be like, oh, they're married, and they'll try to hook you up on blind dates, or, you know, they'll be like, oh, I know someone who's perfect for you. And the only reason they're connecting you to this person is because, you know, it's their husband's friend. That's the only thing they have in common, or how they know this person. In that case, you could respectfully be like, hey, stop trying to match me up with randoms. If you're actually interested in matching me up, this is the type of guy I'm looking for. Be proactive. Don't just be passive, right? And I'm talking about this because a lot of people are in these dynamics and they don't know what to do. So they like ignore their friend, or they keep it in, and then it's like passive aggressive kind of energy comes out, and then there's resentment, and it just breaks down a friendship when you can solve the problem. Your friend isn't the problem. Like, they might be the superficial problem, but the real problem is a lack of boundaries and lack of communication. So once you communicate with them clearly what your boundaries are, if they keep crossing them, then you can omit that you're not the problem. You communicated what you needed, and they continue to ignore you. At that point, you can separate, you can go your own way. Be like, you know what, maybe I've outgrown this friendship. That's number one. Let's keep going down. There's a few things I wanted to talk about. And I've gotten a lot of questions, and so what I've done is kind of just gone through and taken the gist out of every question so that I can give you guys general good advice, right? So stick around, because this stuff is going to help you if you are single. And the majority of you are single. So even in a marriage, by the way, if you're married and you don't have a good friends group, and I'll explain what a good friends group is. If your friends shit on your wife or your husband and they talk bad about them in front of you, they don't respect you. And if you also do it, you don't respect you. And you don't understand that you might be joking, but your subconscious doesn't know jokes. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's a joke and what's reality. So you could be there with your friend joking and being like, oh, my husband's useless. You are literally programming your brain to believe that your husband is useless. And not only that, that's the most hurtful for you directly into your relationship, you're letting someone else know that you don't care about yourself, you don't respect yourself, you don't respect your husband, and you don't respect your marriage. So now they can also make jokes, and they'll continue, because humans, you give someone an inch, they take more and more every single time. So generally, as humans, we're going to keep pushing the boundaries. From when we're kids, we're told, okay, the rule is you can only have one cookie. Guess what? They're going to come and be like, can I have 2? Please, please. And then they'll keep pushing. Or like, if you're a teacher, those kids will be testing your limits. Like, how far can I get away with, breaking the rules? Even into adulthood. If you're sitting and chatting with your girlfriend and you're like, my husband's useless, he never helps, he doesn't do anything, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you like the negatives, because I've seen this in relationships. Number one, you start believing that on a deep level. Number two, it not only hurts him, he doesn't know, but in the meantime, it removes your attraction to him. Because nobody's attracted to someone useless. Nobody's attracted to someone weak. Nobody's attracted to these things. Even if he is not those things, because you speak these words as a joke, they're going to be literally like you programming your brain to believe it. And you're going to end up hurting your own marriage. We were watching a bunch of different TV shows, and I realized it is so normal in these shows to show women talk bad about their men complain about their wife, and that isn't normal. If you do that, and that's the type of behavior you have about your relationship, and you think it's harmless, it's more harmful than harmless. So be aware of that. And then again, that's the type of friends you have. If you go to your friend and you're complaining about your husband, you want a type of friend that's like, hey, come on, I know you. You're pretty useless too. They can joke right back, but they remind you your man's not useless. He works hard, he does certain things. And vice versa for men. If you go and you're like, my wife literally spent all my money, and just that statement, you're again programming yourself, and you're going to speak it into reality. You're going to believe that you don't have the capacity to do more, to make more. And it's like, okay, she spent all your money, but on what? Is it really just the makeup, or was it food for the house? Was it clothes for your kids? Was it supplies that you need that you didn't even know, and she stocked your underwear and she got you new shirts so you don't have to wear that, old raggedy underwear with the hole in it? Be careful about these jokes. Self-deprecating jokes are horrible, first of all. Jokes aimed at people you love, not just husband and wife, but children, parents, siblings, any type of, a joke, but it could be hurtful. Not only are you hurting the person, you okay? Okay. not only are you hurting the person, but you're also programming into your mind that you truly believe this. And when you believe this, you're going to treat that person like that. And eventually, because energies are very powerful and energies are shared, they're going to start believing it too. Because your thoughts turn into actions. Your actions are going to be your habits, and that's going to be your characteristic. That's literally going to be your personality. Your whole personality is going to be negative towards the one person that you've married for life. This is your life partner. And you've programmed and literally set yourself up for failure. And that only happened because you were in the presence of a friend that you were like, oh, I'm just joking around with this friend. But real friends would be like, nah, your husband's good. Like, you're tripping. There's a lot of single ladies out here trying to find good men. Or your wife's great. What are you talking about? Like, get your ish together. Stop complaining. Like, say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Like, seek refuge in God from the devil. You know, fight your negativity. So that's very, very important. That was the first thing I really just wanted to start off with. And a lot of people, when they're searching for their loved one, I have a little bit of notes on my laptop just to remind myself what I want to talk about, because I don't want to miss any of these points, because these are so important. Not just for relationships, because I know here primarily I'll talk to you about how to find your soulmate, how to fix your marriage. But the stuff I teach you, you can implement it in different aspects of your life, in any relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic one. It could be a platonic one. It could be with family. But when you implement these things, you're going to feel like a more powerful person. A lot of people feel helpless. You're not going to be helpless. You're going to be more active in your life. You're going to feel like you have more control over things. It's so crazy, because it's like vice versa. Most people will try to control everything else, but not themselves. And then they lose themselves and they react bad or whatever when things don't go the way they want. They don't deal with it well. But if you control yourself, literally the whole world could go upside down. But because you have control over your emotions, you understand yourself, your being, you'll navigate anything with ease. And so everything I teach you literally is about controlling yourself. Who you hang around with, that's you. How you communicate, that's on you, right? Another big one is people have unrealistic expectations of their partners or potential partners. So for single people, they'll have an idea of who they want to marry or who they want to be with. And for married people, they have expectations of who their wife or husband is, but they themselves don't meet those expectations. So it's like this double standard. Like, you have to be on top of your game, in good shape. You have to be, pretty or handsome. You have to make a lot of money. You have to do all of these things. You have to be patient. You have to be loving. You have to be loyal. You have to be whatever it is. Everybody has their list, right? And I'm not shaming you for the list. It's very important to have a list. But what's also important is to recognize that you have to be someone that attracts that list. Can't be sitting around literally, like some guys come up to me and they're like, I want her to look like a model. And I'm like, brother, please look in the mirror. Like, not to be rude, not to be anything. You're overweight. You barely do anything that a model would be interested in. Like, what is it that you want? You want arm candy? Like, you want to show a woman off like you got her and you're something special? You got to live up to that. What is the special thing that you have? And it doesn't have to be about looks too. There are guys that are very smart. There are guys that are very funny. There are guys that are great lovers. There's guys that are very kind and considerate. There's so many other things that can attract the person you want. But you have to make sure that you raise your standards, not for other people, but for yourself. So if you're someone that's lazy, you don't do anything, you literally sit on your butt all day, you hang out with your friends, joke around, you spend your parents' money, you don't even make your own money, and now you want like the most beautiful woman in the world, and you want all of these things that you're not even working to try and attain, that's unrealistic. And I'm not saying this is any of you, and maybe this is an exaggerated example, but it's really not. I've seen a lot of people like this. But the reality is, if you want someone that you might feel like, oh, this is like the perfect person for me, what are you doing to be the perfect person for them? Because there's wives that'll be like, you know what, or not wives, sorry, single ladies that are like, I'm a business owner. I bring in 6 figures. I want a man that brings in 6 figures. I want a man that, makes more money than me, blah, blah, blah. She'll list the man. And I'm like, okay, but you're not the perfect woman for him. Lots of men that are like that, they don't want a wife that is also like that. Because what's the point of you guys getting married? You're both chasing and pursuing the money. How are you going to build a family? How are you going to build a home? A lot of them are looking for traditional wives, wives that are going to prioritize supporting him as he, or they're looking for wives that are stay-at-home wives who will raise the kids. Now, there's an energy that a lot of these women that are like 6 figures or whatever, they're looking for that. They bring that to the table, so they want a man like that. They don't understand that what they're looking for isn't a man who's exactly like them. They're looking for a masculine energy that they can submit to. And in their minds, they believe that it's tied to the money. That you, as a woman, if you make that much money, the only way you're going to respect a man is if he makes more money than you. And that is a false way of thinking. Because there's men that were dirt poor and they have the respect of the whole city. The Prophet ﷺ, he was an orphan. He didn't have any money to his name before he married Khadija radiallahu anha. Look at her. She was a businesswoman. He worked for her. Literally one of the people that worked for her, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But there was an energy there that she was attracted to. And she married him. She didn't make it about, I bring in the money. What do you bring to the table? She understood that the man brought his masculine energy. She brought her feminine energy. And a lot of women today, and I see this because this is a problem, a lot of women that are, go-getters, or maybe not even financially, but they'll have like their master's and their PhD, and they'll come and they'll say, can I marry a guy that doesn't have a degree? Yeah, absolutely. The only problem is if you remind him that he doesn't have a degree. Because what the heck's a degree? Degree is that you stayed in college 4 years and memorized a bunch of stuff, took exams and spit out what you memorized, and they gave you an A+, and here's a paper to say that you paid us and we gave you good grades because you studied. It's not indicative of anything. Really, it's not. To the point where now they're saying like Walmart, Google, Amazon, a lot of these huge companies that you don't even need a degree. We already knew it. We've seen people become billionaires and they don't have degrees. They don't have any formal education, but because they have that energy or the drive or, the want for something, that was enough. And so if you are a lady like that, who's like, oh, I have my PhD, I can't possibly marry a guy with a bachelor's degree. Again, you're making a mistake here because you're misunderstanding what it is you're attracted to. As women, we're attracted to a strong masculine energy. Feminine energy needs to submit to masculine energy. That's just the way it's designed. But you submit to an energy that you respect, an energy that makes you feel safe, and an energy that makes you feel loved and protected, right? Because you can feel safe with someone and you can feel, loved and protected. But if you don't respect, you're not going to submit. Right? There's the elements, all of them have to go hand in hand. It's not one or the other. Because there's a lot of women that love their men and they'll never submit to them because they don't respect them, right? They love them, but maybe they disrespect them in an argument or talk down to them. And I'm giving this example because it's just a train of thought. But it's the same for women, right? Men, let me finish this thought before I jump. Actually. So for ladies, if you make a lot of money or you have a lot of degrees, a lot of education, that's very normal, okay? But that doesn't mean that the perfect person for you is going to look exactly like you. It doesn't. Doesn't mean that if you have a PhD, you have to marry someone with a PhD. No, you just have to respect him. You have to, feel safe and protected around him. And you have to be attracted to him enough to build the love, right? Because maybe love isn't there right away in the beginning, but all of those elements will lead to love growing, okay? And for the money, same thing. Keep thinking about, thank you, Mahrina, for the crown. Keep thinking about, what do I want out of a potential partner? And do they want me? That's a big thing people leave out, and it's because of ego. Many people don't want to answer that question. Well, the perfect man for me, does he even want me? That means I have to do some work, and most people don't want to do the work. And that's why most people that are single are still single, because they haven't done the work. It's not about meeting the right person. Wallahi. It's 90% you being ready. 10% meeting the right person. Because if you're ready, you'll know exactly how to find your person. It won't take you any time. It won't take you any time at all. You'll be able to, within meeting someone, you'll know, nah, this person isn't for me. Or this person, there's potential. You explore a little bit because you know yourself, you're 90% ready. Nah, they're not quite ready. You meet someone else, you're like, this person is everything on my list. I'm ready. And you know how you can learn all this? I teach it. You can take my program, but you have to follow the advice and the teachings that I tell you to a T. Meaning everything I tell you, you have to do. If you're in that position and you're ready, go to collectivelymarried.com, go to my website. You can go through my profile. If you click this profile here, it'll take you to my main profile. You'll see the link. Click the link, go to my website. If you go to my website, you sign up for the Collectively Married program, inshallah, and you're good. Remember, 90% is on you. It's not about finding the right person. It's about you being the right person. And you will attract your person. Because people don't understand. When you become fully, I want to say when you evolve into someone that's ready to get married. Part of your evolution is that you're going to start putting yourself in spaces that are perfect for you. Spaces that make you happy, spaces that you are a leader in, spaces that you are, skilled at. You're going to be naturally in these environments that are good for you, and you're going to bump into people that are literally made for you. They're going to be people that love the same things you love. They're going to be people that share a lot in common with you, because that's what drew you guys into the same work or the same spiritual spaces or the same events or organizations, whatever it is. But part of you even being able to identify, where do I belong, is doing the work. So it's not just about having a list of, I want to, everybody will come, they'll tell you, thank you so much, Blue Eye Cat. They'll tell you, I want blah, 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 blah. But nobody in this world is good enough. That's not the truth. That's your ego speaking. The truth is, you're not good enough right now. But you can be when you do the work and you understand who you are, where you belong, what you're meant for. And as you fall into, all of these things fall into place, the love of your life will fall into your life. Very, very, very simple. So if you're ready to do that type of work, go to my website, collectivelymarried.com, sign up for the program today. Don't say, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No. Because all the people that say tomorrow, again, you're programming in your mind. Tomorrow will never come. You'll always push it to the next day. But if you start today and you do the first part of the program today, you're going to be working on yourself every single day. And inshallah, before you know it, you'll be married. You'll find your soulmate. You'll fix your marriage. Whatever it is you want, go to collectivelymarried.com and check out the Collectively Married program. Another big problem that I see from a lot of the questions that came in is familial relationships. So problems with mom, dad, siblings, aunties, grandparents, whether you're single or you're married, right? Someone will say, oh, my mom and dad won't let me get a divorce even though my wife is the worst person for me, or whatever. Someone will come and say, my parents won't let me get married because they don't want me to marry this person. They have someone else for me. The reason why this is a problem for you is because you haven't left the nest. You know when a bird is ready to fly, they say it leaves the nest. It starts flapping its wings and off it goes, lives its own life. You, my friend, still live in the nest. Even if you're not physically living under your parents' roof, mentally you never left. So mentally, you always have to check with mommy and daddy. Mentally, you don't control your own relationship. You can have your mother disrespect you in front of your wife. You can have your mother disrespect your wife. You can have your father argue with your wife. All of these family problems that I see married couples go through because of extended family, it's because the couple themselves haven't mentally left their parents' nest. They still live with their parents in their head. And that's a big part of growing up, getting married. Even if you're not getting married, let's say you want to do your own job, you want to start living your own life, mentally you have to understand you are the only person responsible for your life. On the day of judgment, Allah is not going to sit with you and tell you, at 32, you wanted to marry this girl, but your mommy and daddy said marry that girl. So you married that girl, but you continued a relationship with this girl. That is zina. That is adultery. And what are you going to say? My mom and dad made me? God's not going to buy that. God says, no, your parents didn't make you. You have your own free will. I gave you your own free will. Your parents obviously are using their own free will. In fact, they're using it so well, they've implemented it and pushed it onto you. What's your excuse? What's your excuse at the age of 32? Even at 22? Honestly, even at 15? When are we held responsible for our prayers? At 10 years old. So you have to understand, okay, if you're responsible to pray at 10, what other things are you responsible for? Fasting? You're responsible for maybe not sadaqah or zakah yet because you're not quite making the money yet. But there's so many things, and for those of you that don't speak Arabic, I'm just talking about the 5 pillars of Islam. If you're Muslim, there's 5 things that are expected all Muslims do. It's like the bare minimum, which is pray 5 times a day, say the shahada, like just bearing witness that you believe there's only one God and that Prophet Muhammad is the final messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's fasting. Muslims fast in Ramadan, that every single able-bodied Muslim. Obviously, there's excuses for women that are pregnant, women that are on their menstruation, people that are handicapped, or people that are mentally, incapacitated. There's obviously excuses for people that are going through illnesses and different type of stuff, but every able-bodied person should be able to do this. Zakah just means giving, and it's usually tied to certain times in the year, and it's a certain percentage of your saved income. So if I had like $10,000 that I didn't touch all year, I was like, it's just extra money that I have lying around, I have to pay a percentage on that, give it to the needy. And this is so that people aren't hoarding money when there's people that actually need it, right? So that's one of them. And then the final one is to go to God's house if you're able to. So Hajj. And that's only during a specific time of year. And that's for you as a Muslim to, if you are financially and physically, mentally, everything, you're able to go, then you should go. At least once in your lifetime. If you're not able to, God forgives you. It's not a big deal. Like there's no anything like, what is it? It's inna dina yusran wa laysa usran. The religion is supposed to bring ease and not difficulty. So we have to look at it from the lens of ease. And so just to backtrack a few steps, if you are someone that's in this situation and you don't know, how do I talk to my parents? You're going to find friction, especially if your parents are used to and accustomed to walking all over you and directing you. And even at maybe your parents are 90 years old and you're 50, they still feel like I can tell him to do this, he will do it. There's a difference between birrul walidain wa ta'atul walidain. And birrul walidain, in Arabic means like being kind to your parents. Ta'a is like obedience. Now, obedience of your parents is not something you do in like old age, right? The kindness will make you take care of them, right? Having mercy on them, that'll take care of them. But if your parents are pushing you to do something, and this is where you have to use your brain. You got to assess your parents not as my parents, but as human beings who are very capable of making mistakes, and this is a life decision for me that I will be sleeping next to this person, raising children with this person for the rest of my life, inshallah. Because nobody goes into marriage thinking, you know what, I'll just marry her because my parents said, and then when my parents pass away, I'll divorce her. No, nobody goes into marriage like that. So you have to come into it being present and aware. No fear of your parents, because that fear is fear of them being sad. They're human. They're going to be sad. You'll do something that'll make them sad. Better you pick the person you want to spend the rest of your life with and they're sad, than you marry someone, divorce someone, be in drama, and they'll still be sad. Okay? So you can't control their emotions. Again, you can only control yourself. They're worried about what everybody else will say. Who cares what everybody else will say? Why does the opinion of everybody else matter over the want of your heart? Why are your parents prioritizing the entire... And when they say everybody, they're talking about the possibility that people today are sitting down, like they're imagining like millions and thousands of people are sitting down just gossiping about you. No. Even the biggest gossipers in the world don't have time to gossip about everyone. So a lot of us, and I see this from messages, I see this from interactions with people, I see this on a daily. There's this idea that we're constantly being judged by they. Who are they? And don't they have a life of their own? Even if they are constantly talking about us, they still have to sleep. They still have to eat. They still have to take care of their families. They have their own problems. So we can't make decisions for our life based on an imaginary they, right? And if we can't do that, then we sure as heck will not let someone else make a decision for our life based on an imaginary they. You understand? So it's not about disobeying your parents and disrespecting them and you're going to hell. Parents will say that to you. They'll say in the Quran, right after obeying Allah, you have to obey me. That's not what it says, okay? That's why you have to open the book and learn. It says you have to treat them with kindness. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Ihsana means the best you can do. It doesn't even really mean kindness. Kindness is a rough translation. بِرُّ الْوَالِدَيْنِ. Ihsana means the best you can treat them. Your mom might come to you and tell you, I want a new fancy car. Maybe you can't afford that. Maybe you can't. So your best will still hurt her feelings because she wants a new car. Maybe you got your wife a car because you guys need a car in the house and now your mom's like, oh, I need a car too. But you can't do that. The next best thing or the best way you can treat her, the best you can do for her, that's all Allah is asking of you. Okay? That's why you got to know your religion. Because even the people closest to you, and I'm not just talking about parents. Sometimes husbands will come to wives and say, you have to do this because Allah said so. And the wife doesn't know. And she'll be like, do I really have to do this? And some people, because we all have a little devil in us and we all have capacity for good, capacity for evil, will be tempted by their devil. If someone doesn't know anything about the deen and you know everything, you can just easily go and get them to do whatever you want and use the religion or use whatever, will have an emotional impact on them, right? So it's your responsibility. If someone tricks you, they're at fault, yes, but it's also your responsibility to educate yourself, especially today. If you're watching me on this live, you have an internet access, you have a phone, you have access to knowledge where you can... Literally, knowledge is power. It's a guard for you. It's a tool, right? So you need to equip yourself in your religion, if you're Muslim, if you're Jewish, if you're Hindu, if you're Christian, whatever your religion is, so that nobody can use it as a tool against you, because you have a very strong connection to it. You should also equip yourself in psychology, human psychology, because that's very important today. I believe every single person, I wish this was taught in schools, but every single person needs to understand their own mental psychology, mental well-being, and others. Because this will help you navigate relationships, romantic, platonic, business, friendships, colleagues, everything you can think of. If you understand the psychology of the mind, of your own mind, you'll also understand other people's minds, and you'll be more empathetic. You'll be better able to respond to other people's problems. You'll be like a chill person. And you'll find that inner chill, like such peace. Because hey, I'm good with God. Like if someone says something to me and I'm chill, I'm like, maybe he's having a bad day. Maybe he's going through a divorce. Maybe he's stressed out about something. I didn't do anything that really, required that reaction And that comes from knowledge, right? So again, if you are ready to literally transform your life, because everything I'm teaching you is stuff I learned. It's stuff I've gathered, and I've put it all in the program, the Collectively Married program. So if you're interested in transforming your life, like just every aspect, bettering yourself, this is the year of the truth. This is the year of yes. We're seeing it across the board on so many different platforms and levels. And if you're here watching me, that means a part of you feels ready. So if you resonate with what I'm telling you, go to Collectively Married, because you are ready. I know you're ready. Go to Collectively Married, sign up for the program. At the bare minimum, read the book. Read the book. And the book is whichever book sticks out to you. It could be the book on confidence, because you don't know how to navigate relationships. And I'm not talking about romantic only. I'm talking about like at work, your boss, your colleagues. Maybe you need a raise. Maybe people are giving you more work than you can do. Maybe you need more challenging activities. Maybe your company isn't using you to the best. How do you talk to people about that? How do you do it so it's not a big deal? I've had huge conversations that are big deal conversations, but because of the energy that I came in, making it not a big deal, it wasn't. And people don't understand that you literally come in with an energy, and if you decide, hey, we're good, we're chill, that's the energy. If you come in nervous and jittery and, anxious, you're spreading that energy. And energy is contagious. So read that book. If you're in a marriage right now and you're like, my marriage is falling apart. My marriage is in a bad spot. My marriage can't be saved. Actually, it can't. But again, your words are powerful. Your subconscious doesn't know that you are just venting or you are just getting it off your chest. Your subconscious is being programmed with how you speak about your reality. So if that's your reality, read that book. If you are single and you're lonely, I don't want you to fall into any relationship because you feel alone. I want you to be strategic about picking the perfect life partner for you. Read that book. But if you want to collectively, see what I did there, transform your life, and sign up for the Collectively Married program, inshallah. There's another big thing people really miss out on. And this is such an important, you will never have a good marriage. You will never find your soulmate if you don't do this. And this is your hygiene. You have to understand what you eat affects how you smell. What you drink affects how you smell. Or what you don't drink. So hydrate, 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 hydrate. I know it's winter time. People don't feel as thirsty in the winter. Drink tea. Drink anything warm. Drink water. Have soups. The more water you have running through your system, the less stinky you are. And it's just basic science. What is sweat made up of? We all learned this in school, is urea. Urea is the main ingredient in your pee. So, stinky, dead skin, bacteria, all of these things build up a scent. And if you are clean and you sweat, it's different than if you haven't taken a shower for 4 days because you've been wearing the same outfit, you're cooking in it, you're cleaning in it, you're rolling around in bed in it. You think you don't smell because you get used to your scent. None of us can smell our own scents. But people can smell you. Let me tell you, some people I've been around, literally couples, and people who are single and can't understand why they're single. And I have to tell them, like, hey, use deodorant. How often do you shower? Shave. The hair under the armpits holds bacteria. Shave it off. Exfoliate. And you don't need money for this. If you want to exfoliate, here's a cheap, literally you can do it right now. If you have anything grainy, salt, sugar, coffee, sand, if you're at the beach, anything grainy, put it and add olive oil, coconut oil, any oil you have. You'll make your own sugar scrub or your own coffee scrub, salt scrub, whatever it is, a body scrub. Scrub your skin. Notice the difference between how soft your skin will feel after just exfoliating. And do that weekly, at least once a week. What's the sugar, a cup of sugar and a few tablespoons of olive oil gonna cost you? Nothing. But not taking care of yourself is gonna cost you a potential business relationship, a potential romantic relationship, an opportunity. Because I've been at tables like in like really fancy events, and someone sitting right next to me, you can smell their breath and you're just like, how do I get away? Drink water, brush your teeth regularly, scrape your tongue. Most people don't know that bacteria lives on your tongue. That tongue, it should not have anything on it. You should be scraping it every day, 2 times a day. Little things like that, and it adds up, right? If you don't shower for a week, you're gonna be extra stinky. But let's say you take a shower every other day. And for people that are like, I don't want to dry my hair out, or I don't want to dry my skin out, or I don't want to blah, blah, blah. Those are excuses, because you can be in a shower that isn't hot, where you scald your skin off. Take a warm shower, take a cold shower. That's even better for you. Moisturize. Use some more conditioner, like for your hair. I was like, conditioner on your body. No, conditioner for your hair. Use any oils on your body. Use lotion on your body. But guess what? If you are someone that regularly cleans yourself, like regularly, every day you're taking care of your hygiene. You miss a day, you're not going to smell like crap. You miss a day, you're okay. You have some leeway. But you already weren't taking a shower for a week. Then you come one day, brush your teeth really quick, and go to hang out with people. They're going to smell you. I don't care what you did in that 15 minutes. You haven't been doing it for a whole 3 months. Like, people are going to smell you. Your clothes. Like, don't wear clothes that you're going to go out with and cook with it. Because food smells stay in your clothes. And food is delicious when you're hungry. But if you're hanging out with people and someone comes and there's like a whole aroma of food, like oils, especially people that fry food. And I get it if you work in a kitchen, you have to wear certain things. Have a change of clothes. Have it in a plastic bag in your backpack, so it doesn't absorb everything. If you're working in construction, I get it, like you're in construction, you're out in the sun all day. You get to bring a backpack. Bring an extra clean shirt. So when you're going to the masjid, you're not going smelling like you had a workout. Get some wet wipes. Wet wipe. Deodorant. Splash a little perfume. Don't overdo perfume. You don't want to be the type of person that suffocates people when you walk into a room, because not everybody likes every scent. Some scents make people, like for me, some scents give me a headache. Like I smell you and I'm like, ugh. Like it just happens. And you don't know, maybe your potential partner, the person you're in love with, doesn't like the smell of the current perfume you're wearing. So like less is more. Focus more on the hygiene, less on the masking it. Because I know a lot of young men do this. I had 3 brothers growing up, Anytime I walk by their room, I almost fainted. So stinky. But they have that aerosol deodorant. Like that stuff would knock you out. And they think, oh, let me play soccer. Oh, the shirt, let me just aerosol it, whack it around, wear it, and go back out. Stinky. Boys, don't do this. Men, don't do this, please. You know what? You don't have time to, let's say you don't have time to go to the laundromat. You have a bathtub, you should always have a little bucket. Soak your shirt in the shampoo you use to wash your hair. Literally, rub it a little bit, soak it, hang it up. It'll smell clean the next day. Make sure you rub and scrub under the armpits because that's where the bacteria is. The rest of your shirt can literally just soak in some water. Wash it, hang it. Next day, wear something clean. Underwear, like that down area. A lot of people go into the shower and just let the water fall down and they're like, I'm clean. I talked to you about the sugar scrub. Exfoliate, bruh. Like, get a loofah, get a washcloth, get, like the African scrub, the long one. There's so many different types of scrubs you can find out there. Use them on your body. You don't have access to them, find a rough cloth in your house, cut from it, and use it to rub your body. Put some soap on it, scrub your body twice. Don't scrub once, and scrub. Like, if you ever go, and this is just, I don't know if all of you have access to this, but like a Moroccan spa. They wear like these gloves. You can order them on Amazon. They're made out of like a really rough thing, and they'll like scrub you. Watch a video on how they scrub and just do that type of scrub. Because they put pressure and they scrub and you can literally see the skin come off, like grime coming off. And that, even the shampoos, you can use natural shampoos. You don't have to be using stuff that'll dry you out or give you a rash. No, there's so many access to so many great things. And on that note, I created a perfume. Remember how I was like, some perfumes give me headaches? I made a perfume. It is literally the best smelling fragrance in the world. I call it Good Energy because it makes you light up. It's on my website. You can get yourself a bottle. Check it out. Very, very amazing fragrance. And for men and women, it's made out of oil, so you can put it on your skin. The main notes are rose and jasmine, cedar and musk. And the rose and jasmine are traditionally feminine scents. The cedar and musk are traditionally masculine scents. Combine that together in an oil fragrance and put it everywhere, and you will smell good forever. Literally, when I come to wash my clothes, I can still smell the fragrance on it. It'll last because oil doesn't evaporate. It has nowhere to go. If you're using the spray perfumes, that's like, if I were to break down a bottle for you, you're paying like $200 for a bottle that is 50% water, 20% alcohol, and like whatever little bit of oil they'll put in there. So when you first spray it, it's like, oh, it smells so good because the alcohol is making the oil evaporate. And then an hour later, 2 hours later, the smell's gone. Why? Because the oil isn't enough in there. So pay attention to even the fragrances you use. What type of fragrances are you using? And if you want to smell amazing, go get a bottle from my website. Guaranteed. Guaranteed you will be. Everybody that hugs you or walks near you is going to ask you, what are you wearing? And you're going to tell them Good Energy because it smells amazing. So hygiene. Hygiene is important. Like, I can talk about hygiene all day, every day. And hygiene isn't just about, cleaning yourself. Oh, I didn't talk about down there. This is very important, especially when you're intimate with people. You want to make sure that you scrub yourself, right? Most people, when they go in the shower, they start with their hair, scrub your neck. Use the loofah, start with your neck, behind your ears. There's grime, scrub. Anywhere on your body where there's folds, you want to open the fold and scrub, okay? Just so that I don't get into too much. But let's say, for example, like here, this fold. I'm just giving this. This isn't usually folded. But behind your knees, under your chest for ladies. Like down there for men. You want to lift stuff, Scrub underneath. Make sure you're getting everything. Everything. And don't just rely on water and soap to run down you. And just because all these fragrances in the shops, the shampoos that you buy, they put so much perfume in it that you put a little bit of shampoo and you're like, I smell good because you smell the perfume. But you're not clean, okay? So trust me on this. Don't take a shower unless you're like really scrubbing yourself, because that's very important. And that way when you come close to someone, I'm like, why did I even talk about hygiene? You meet the person you like. You meet someone who knows someone that you might marry. You don't want people to be like, ugh, that person smells bad. I once went camping with a girl and she smelled so bad. 7 years later, I could still remember that stench. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to just say it. I'm saying that it left such a bad taste in my mouth every time I saw her. Even when I saw pictures on Instagram or whatever, I was like, that girl stinks. Like, it's very hard to remove people's opinion of you from there. And that was my first interaction with her. So you don't want to be that type of person. Not even just about romance, but just in life. You don't want to be the type of person that, even in Islam, they say, "An-nadafatu min al-iman," cleanliness is of faith. Because when you smell something bad, it hurts you. It makes you angry. Because you're like, oh, what is that? And you get like really upset about the smell. And Allah says when something hurts a Muslim, He is literally like your sins are removed. Like if I get hurt by something, Allah's going to remove my sins, right? So you don't want to be the person that's hurting people with something like a smell. You can control that. Clean yourself. And for teeth, let's say like you have something rotting or maybe you got some problems in your teeth. Go see a dentist. Go, if you're like, I can't afford a dentist. All of dental schools, they always have programs where learning, students that are learning and they're supervised will practice on you. It's not horrible. It sounds scary. Most of the time they can do it. And if they mess up, then their supervisor steps in and fixes stuff. But if there's a will, there's a way. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Something else a lot of people, again, just from seeing a lot of questions and interactions and people over time, we have this and I'm saying we, as society, we have this idea that titles are very important, right? And I'll give you an example. People will put sheikhs and imams on a pedestal. Like, he's a sheikh. He'll know the answer. Or she's a sheikha. She'll know what to do. And in reality, everybody is human. Everybody is human. Yes, your local imam can make mistakes. There's local imams that are amazing. There's local imams that are being sued for horrible activity they did to kids. There's, women that are loving and kind, and there's women that have done horrible things. Just because someone has a title like doctor doesn't mean that they're perfect. Someone has authority, they're a judge, doesn't mean they're not crooked. Someone is a sheikh, doesn't mean that they don't fault or they don't sin. You have to understand that. You can't let titles navigate your life. I want you to think of titles as a container, right? We don't usually care about the container. We care about what's the package content. So just because someone's in a nice container doesn't mean the content inside is nice, right? Just because someone's in authority, a sheikh, imam, a scholar, a police officer, a judge, a doctor, a lawyer, a professor, a teacher, all of those are titles. They're not personalities or behaviors or like real indicative of what a person is. And that comes from society. Society will tell you, all the police are good, they're there to save you. Guess what? There's some people that are bad policemen. They're crooked. Society will tell you, go to the imam. The imam will help you solve any problems. The imam is special. He is always at the house of God. He's not special. He might be dealing with porn addiction. You don't know it. He's human. Like, we have to navigate this world. And I'm not saying this so that we're like, oh, every single person is evil. No. It's so that we don't rely on someone just because they have a title. We don't give up our authority to someone just because they have a title. Let me tell you, when I was giving birth, the doctors kept trying to give me different things. They wanted to do something called an induction, which is to hurry you up so that you give birth quickly. Now, I am someone that likes to educate myself. So what I did before birth is I spent almost 9 months listening to other women's birth stories, real life and online, talking to different doulas, talking to different doctors, talking to literally anyone that had any information, because every single person you meet has information and knowledge that you don't have. So I talked to so many people. And from all that research and empowering myself and giving myself that knowledge, I knew that if they gave me these medications, because doctors, they do this thing and I don't like it, and I always tell them to explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old. They'll use language, they'll talk fast, they'll use medical terminology that a lay person, if you're not a doctor, you wouldn't understand. In fact, if you're not a doctor in their field, you wouldn't understand what they're saying. And a lot of different fields do this. That's why I'm telling you, titles aren't important. People with titles will use words to try to manipulate and get what they want. Because that's, as humans, it's natural. So they'll use words you don't understand, they'll talk too fast, and they'll make you feel like you don't have time. Number one, again, from talking to everybody, I knew I had the time to figure out what I wanted. I knew that if they gave me this medication, because I literally remembered them. I didn't remember the spelling, I didn't remember the exact word, but I remembered if they gave me this medication, it would force my uterus basically to start pushing, like my uterus will start pushing the baby out, but my body wasn't ready. Like, Allah created us differently, right? So when you're pregnant, and I'm just giving this example because this is something that happened to me, there's hormones in your body that loosen your muscles up, that loosen your bones, so that when you give birth, everything doesn't break. It opens up easily, the baby can come through. And your body takes time. When it's time for birth, some women will have their water break, like me, for example, and 24 hours later, the baby will come out. There's some women that tell you they were in labor for hours and hours. That's because their body physically has to prepare to push a human life out. When they give you these medications, it forces you to push, like you're open and ready, but your body can't push the baby out. So then they tell you, oh, the baby's in danger. We got to take you an emergency C-section. Because guess what? A C-section costs more, so the doctor makes more money. A C-section is faster, so the doctor saves time. C-section hurts you. It's in no way beneficial to you, right? So I was able to make a decision, even though there was a titled authority figure, because we all think the doctor knows best. Guess what? The doctor is human. The doctor has his own or her own motives. The doctor will be like, I need to finish this quickly so I can go to the next patient. I need to get paid because I have to pay rent on my house and my mortgage and whatever, my car, my kids. The doctor is tired. Maybe they didn't sleep well. Maybe you're the last patient they're seeing. They're human and they're very capable of making mistakes, right? So it's your responsibility to understand just because someone has a title, it's just a container. They're human and they can make mistakes, and you don't want to be the one getting kicked in the butt because somebody else was in a rush, right? And this isn't just about you. Like, extend this to your kids. Personally, I never let male doctors see my child, ever. Personally, I just don't believe, like there's certain things that I don't believe men should do. I believe more women. Even as a woman, I don't give them access to everything. They'll say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this. Is it necessary? You have to equip yourself with these questions. Is this the only way? Is there an alternative? Do we have to do this today? Can I think about it? You got to equip yourself with these things as you navigate authority, right? Because authority knows their authority. So they expect you to submit because they understand that they have the authority in that situation. But the reality is society gave them that authority, and you are society, so you can take that authority back with simple questions. You're not being disrespectful, you're not being out of pocket, you're not being rude. You're simply asking so that you have the full knowledge to make your decision. And title doesn't just mean sheikh, doctor, imam, lawyer, professor. Title could also mean mom and dad. Mom and dad are navigating this life for the first time just like you. Mom and dad, you're not you're their first child that they're marrying off. They don't have 20 years of experience doing this. Just because they have the title of mom and dad doesn't mean they don't have and aren't able to make mistakes. And same for husband and wife. Husband can make mistakes. That's why you have to understand this as you navigate these relationships, because you have to know how to communicate with respect to authority. It doesn't mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you have to yell and shout and, no, I'm uncomfortable with this. Or if you don't even want to say that, just say, can I have some more time to think about this? And guess what? They might not like that you say that, because I remember asking my doctors for more time. They basically told me I was in a lot of pain, and they were like, okay, we're going to give you an epidural. The epidural guy is only coming now, and you know what? He's going to leave for the day. I remember them telling me this. Come on. That is something they tell you because they want to get it done right then and there, right? And I remember them telling me, oh, the epidural guy, he's coming right now because the lady next door is going to get an epidural. Let's get you one too. I was like, no, I want to keep trying naturally. But let me let you know, maybe I'll change my mind later. And then they tried to tell me, oh no, he's going to go home for the day. Really? So you're going to be a hospital without an epiduralist, or how's that going to work? I didn't say that, but I had enough knowledge to understand someone was trying to manipulate the situation. And I stayed calm because I understand human psychology, because I equip myself with the knowledge. And I'm giving you this example not to be like, oh, I'm amazing. No, I'm giving you this example so you can learn the same. So you don't have to be in a situation where someone in authority or someone in power might try to manipulate you to do something because it benefits them. And they're not coming at you evil. It's not like they're evil and they want to do harm to you. No, they're just trying to finish their work faster. They're just trying to, make more money. They're just trying to save themselves, like calling the guy again after they already called him to come for the lady next door. Now they got to call him for you. He might get annoyed because he already came. Now he has to come back. It's your job, So you have to equip yourself. And if you're ready to equip yourself with the knowledge to find your soulmate, to better your marriage, to generally transform your life, be more confident, be more present, go to Collectively Married and sign up for the program, the Collectively Married program. It's going to transform your life. Let's go to the next question, or the next. I want to talk about patience. And maybe you're like, oh, everybody talked about patience. And maybe you've heard this before. I don't doubt you've heard this before. But patience is one of the biggest, if not the most important thing or skill set to have in any relationship. Marriage, 100% you need patience, but any relationship. And I'm going to give you a very simple definition for patience that will help you to have more patience. Okay? Patience isn't just sitting and waiting, isn't just, being patient. Patience is doing something else in the meantime. Let's say you're waiting for food delivery. You could be looking at your phone, watching the driver drive to your house. He's 15 minutes away. Oh, he's not moving. Oh, you're not really being patient because you're just there anticipating it. If you sat down and read a book, or you washed some dishes, or you did some laundry, or whatever. You busied yourself. You did something else in the meantime. Before you know it, that food would have arrived. And I gave the example of food, but let's see how we can apply this to a relationship. Let's say your child wants you to do something. And you want, like, I'm thinking, what's a good example for patience? Are you going to be patient while I think of an example for patience? But you can do something in the meantime. Really, I'm like anything. I'm like trying to think of an example, but my mind is blanking. Oh, I remember one time I was invited to a birthday dinner. And this was like really far away from my house. It was like an hour train ride. It was when I was in New York City. I took the train, I got there, and I made sure to get there early. Because in New York, the trains are always late. There's always something going on. So for me, I'm like, okay, just, it's a birthday party. We're going to surprise the person. Let's just make sure that I'm there. A birthday dinner, and I'm there on time. I get there, and nobody is there. Everybody in the group chat's like 30 minutes late, 40 minutes late. I could have been really angry. You know what I did? I looked around the neighborhood. I found a nail salon. And I went and I got my nails done. Literally got a manicure and a pedicure while I waited. It was the chillest wait session ever. I could have went in the restaurant, sat down, looked on my phone for an hour being annoyed that people aren't there. And then when they came, I would have had that annoyed energy like, where have you been? I've been here since you said the time, blah, blah, blah. No. Did my nails. When I came back, they were already like 10 minutes there already. They were like, oh, sorry, whatever. And I was like, no, that's cool. I just got my nails done. Your energy is so chill because you found something else to do. You're happy because you didn't waste your time. Because, you're open, you're flexible, you're just a chill person. Remember, it's not all about like me. Sometimes life happens. Just figure out how to navigate it. And I'm like trying to think of more examples, but really you yourself, just think about the last time you lost your patience. Maybe you yelled at someone because they were talking too much, or maybe I don't know. For some reason I just can't think of any examples of patience, but just do it. When you are patient, you're really just better off. I'm like, should I keep going? Should we keep going? But I'm feeling like we should wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up here, okay? We've done an hour today, and I'm proud of all of you for sticking around, learning, listening, being engaged, all the gifts. But honestly, if you've been here and everything I'm saying resonates with you, and you're in a place where you're not happy with your relationship or your marriage or your singledom, then go to my website and sign up for the Collectively Married program. Just go. Sign up. Everything I tell you in that program, you have to do. Everything. I'm not going to make any excuses for you and tell you, you can skip this part. Take the entire program. I designed it to help you. Wherever you are, if you're trying to fix your marriage, it'll help you. If you're trying to find your soulmate, it'll help you. If you're trying to make money, it'll help you. If you're trying to build confidence, it'll help you. If you're in a haram relationship, you want to make a halal, or you're just in a relationship that seems stuck and you can't move forward into marriage and you don't know how, it'll help you. Go to Collectively Married, sign up for that program. Because I guarantee you, everything I talked about today, everything I shared with you guys, the examples, it's not stuff I was born with. It's stuff I learned. And I learned the hard way in a lot of situations. But you don't have to learn the hard way. It doesn't have to take you 10 years to figure out how to save your marriage. It doesn't have to take you 10 years to figure out how to find your soulmate. It doesn't have to take you 6 years to be in a relationship that's not worth it. It doesn't have to take you 20 years to to feel like you can't ask for what you want. This program, maximum, if you do every day, will take you 5 days to complete. In 5 days, you will be equipped and, if not already solved, whatever the problem you have in your romantic life, in your marriage, in lack of confidence, in money. But you have to do every aspect of it. And I give you assignments. They're not time intensive, so they're not going to take you 3 hours. They're not going to take you even half an hour, but you have to do them. You know what it'll take you? Some courage. It'll definitely take you to push beyond your comfort zone, because right now you're comfortable in whatever situation you're in. You might not be happy, but you're comfortable, because people stay in situations that they're comfortable. Even if they're miserable, there's some comfort in that situation. So what you want to do is push beyond the comfort, because that's where your happiness is. So if you're ready to push beyond the comfort, you're ready for some change, then I highly, not recommend, like, I'm just waiting for you to go sign up, because you are going to transform your life, and you're going to come back to me and you're going to tell me you were right. I did what you told me to do. I found my soulmate. I saved my marriage. We're happily married. You can save any marriage. Wallahi. Wallahi. You just don't have the knowledge yet. Just go. Do yourself a favor. 2024 is the new year, right? Don't wait for 2025 to be like, you know what, I'm still single. You know what, the marriage ended. You know what, I'm still shy and introverted. You know what, I'm still having money problems. You don't have to wait. Go sign up for the Collectively Married program. And I can't wait to hear how you do and see who you become on the other side, inshallah. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for all the love, the support. And I can't wait to see who joins the program, inshallah. And I look forward to continuing to teach and learn from you all. And I hope wherever you are, if you're ending your night, you have a safe night and a calm, peaceful night. And if you're starting your day, you have a beautiful, calm, peaceful day, inshallah. And everything you want, you get. But remember, things don't just come because we want them. We have to work towards them. I'll see you guys on the other side. I'll see you tomorrow, inshallah, bi'idhnillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.